starving. And they don't care. They don't care. That pisses me off to the highest fullest, knowing that these people do not care about the common man and woman in this country. Let's get drunk. Let's get drunk. Let's get drunk. Welcome to the Heineken Hour. Politics. Heineken. Good conversation. I don't think you really get that whole concept. Politics. Heineken. Good conversation. I don't think you really get that whole concept. Let's get drunk. Let's get drunk. Let's get drunk. Welcome to the Heineken Hour. On King Live. On King Live. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's get drunk. Let's get drunk. Let's get drunk. Welcome to the Heineken Hour. Let's get drunk. Salute, salute. 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 Let's get drunk. Let's get drunk. Let's get drunk. Welcome to the Heineken Hour. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe.
Go calm, 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 go calm.
Let's get drunk. Let's get drunk. Let's get drunk. Let's get drunk.
Welcome to the Heineken Hour with Conking Live.
What's going on, everybody? How is everybody doing tonight? I've been thinking about this subject for a while now. And I think a lot of people might misconstrue what that title means. But let me do this first. What's up, the Prince? What's up, Super? What's up, Alpha? What's up, Lee? What's going on, everybody? How everybody doing tonight? I want y'all to understand something. I am an independent, but I do lean Democratic. And there's reasons why I lean Democratic. I lean Democratic because of my interests. I vote according to my interests. And I think everybody should vote according to their interests. But my problem is, I see a lot of black people listen to a lot of race hustlers. I see people listen to people like Phil Scott, who's a race hustler. I see people listen to Umar Johnson, who's a race hustler. I see people listen to Tariq Nasheed, who is a race hustler. These are race hustlers. No matter how you put it, they're a race hustler. And they want black people to stay oppressed, because that's how they make their money, by black people being oppressed, by making black people outraged. That's how they make their money. And that's why I say black people, when it comes to voting, are stupid, because they don't want to vote because they listen to people like Phil Scott, someone who won't tell you what his stance is, someone who won't tell you how he votes. Umar Johnson, another one. They won't tell you how they vote. They won't tell you what their main issues are when it comes to certain things. Only thing they tell you is, don't give your vote, because there is a so-called black agenda that no one wants to give you. What is the black agenda? I'm a black man. Let me tell you what my black agenda is. Medicare, Medicaid, healthcare. Some of the most unhealthy people in this country are black people. That's my black agenda. Social Security, protecting Social Security for everyone. That's my black agenda. Jobs, programs, vocational training. That's my black agenda. That's something that helps black people. education, the criminal justice system. Those are my black agenda. I don't care about reparations. I can care less about reparations. Reparation is one issue. There's many issues that affect black people. So why are we sitting here worried about reparations? One issue. One issue. We're telling black people not to vote because of one issue. Then with the hate crime bills. Oh, they gave the Asians a hate crime bill. Do y'all realize how many hate crime bills are on the book for black people? You go back to James Byrd in Texas when he was drugged behind a truck. Do y'all realize there's a hate crime bill named after him that they enacted in 2009 or 2008, one of the two? Y'all realize that, right? There's a hate crime bill for black people already. But you listen to people like Phil Scott, they'll tell you, oh, we don't have a hate crime bill. The Democrats don't care about black people. The Republicans don't care about black people. No, the politicians don't care about black people. There's a hate crime bill on the books for black people already. Think about it. And answer your question, to Prince. What do we get from voting? Ask your question. Let me flip this on you, to Prince. Do you care about Social Security? Do you care about your health care? Do you care about jobs? Do you care about the criminal justice system being fair to black people? Those are the questions you have to ask yourself individually. Those are the things that you need to be voting for. Those are the things that's in your best interest. That's why you vote. If you don't vote, you don't have a voice. And the reason why black people suffer the most, because we are one of the biggest groups that don't vote. Let me tell y'all something. Stacey Abrams, for instance, back in 2020, everybody got so outraged about Stacey Abrams saying something about black men that they'd rather have Brian Kemp in office in Georgia than Stacey Abrams. Now, Stacey Abrams might have pissed you off over one issue, but Stacey Abrams got many issues, that many things that are going to help black people. But no, what we did was we said, forget about Stacey Abrams. We'd rather have Brian Kemp, a person who's not going to give you anything. Not going to give you anything to benefit you. That's who we wanted. People like Phil Scott were telling you, don't vote for Stacey Abrams. So what you got was Brian Kemp. Now, is Brian Kemp doing anything to help black people? Is Brian Kemp trying to give you reparations? Is Brian Kemp trying to protect anything that might pertain to black people? No. Think about this, guys. Think about the bigger picture. This is not about politics. This is about stupidity. This is about listening to people like Phil Scott, who tells you not to vote for one issue. That's what this is all about. And that's what people need to understand. We don't vote because we don't vote on one issue. We vote on many issues. I vote because of my Social Security. I vote because of my health care. I vote because of job opportunities. I vote because of the justice system. That's why I vote. Just because I can't get one thing doesn't make a difference to me. You cannot get everything you want. That's the way the system works. And that's what people need to understand. You cannot get everything you want. Stop listening to these race hustlers. Y'all are making these race hustlers rich with these stupid narratives. That's what you're doing. They want to keep you enraged. They want to keep you oppressed, because that's how they make their money, by keeping you oppressed, by keeping you enraged. That's what they're doing. And I hate that. I hate to see my fellow black people believe in these so-called black leaders when they're not doing anything to benefit you. They're doing more harm than anything. Tell me something. By not voting, what are you really achieving? Are you getting what you want still by not voting? Or are you hurting yourself? Now, let's talk about reparations for a second. Let me tell y'all something. I think Bernie Sanders actually put a bill forth to try to give you reparations. But you know what the problem was? There's not enough Democrats in the Senate to pass the bill. See, Phil Scott, they were not going to tell you that part of it. They're not going to tell you that you need a certain amount of Democrats to pass a bill if you want reparations. Because we already know the Republicans are not going to give you reparations. They're not going to give you reparations at all. That's a fact. But see, Phil Scott is not going to tell you that you need to start voting more to get more Democrats in office in order to give you reparations. They're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you none of that. Understand the whole concept of how this works. Understand how the system works. The system works that you need a certain amount of people to pass certain bills. No matter if it's a Republican bill or a Democrat bill. It's not about Joe Biden. Joe Biden, the only thing Joe Biden can do is sign it or deny it. It's about the legislation. It's about Congress. It's about the House. It's about the Senate. It's about having enough people who think like you to give you what you want. That's what it's about. Understand that. Understand how what the system works. You see, if you listen to people like Phil Scott, they're not going to tell you how the system works. They're not going to tell you that you need so many Democrats to pass a bill or so many Republicans to pass a bill in the Senate. They're not going to break it down for you. They're not going to do that. And I'm very upset because black people fall for the okie doke from our own people. Do you realize that people like Phil Scott, Umar Johnson, and Tariq Nasheed, they do more harm to black people than the KKK do, than a white supremacist do. So when y'all running around here talking about white supremacists, understand your own people are doing more harm to you than they are. That's a fact. When they tell you not to vote, they're hurting you. I don't give a fuck who you vote for. I don't give a fuck if you vote for a Republican or a Democrat. Only thing I want you to do is vote. Let your voice be known. Realize that people died for that vote. You know, I listened to a story this morning in Florida. It was Ocala, I forget the name of the town. How 300 people died because they wanted to vote. Because somebody wanted to vote. They burned the whole town down because somebody wanted to vote. Black people died for the right to vote. And we sit here today and tell black people not to vote over stupid reasons. Over stupid fucking reasons. But we love our black people, though. We love our black people. We cherish our black people. We had black people who died. People like Martin Luther King. People like Medgar Evers. These people died for us. For us, they died. They sacrificed their lives and their families for us. But we sit here and said tonight, fuck voting. What you're doing, you're insulting the people who actually died for us to have this right to vote. That's what you're doing. That is exactly what you're doing. And it's a tragedy that we sit here and we insult black people every single day, but we turn around and want to talk about white people treating us the way they treat us. We treat ourselves worse than what white people treat us. Worse. Worse. Just understand that, guys. No matter who you vote for, go out and vote. If you don't vote, you can't complain. Bottom line. That's the truth. Well, the Prince, I'm asking you a question, Prince. What are you asking for in return for your vote? You're an American citizen, right? You're an American citizen. What do you want in return for your vote? And like I said before, I'm going to say it again. You don't care about Social Security. You don't care about jobs. You don't care about crime. You don't care about health care. What do you care about? What do you want for your vote? You're an American citizen. You're an American. Think about it for a second, the Prince. You are an American. What do you want? So you don't care about Social Security. So you don't care if your Social Security disappears. You don't care if your family is able to go to the hospital and have affordable health care. You don't care about none of that stuff. Equality? What is equality? What is equality? And think about that is, who's fighting for equality? Be honest with you, the Prince. You know who's fighting for equality in this country more than anybody else? Democrats. Democrats. And I know Super and a couple and Alpha, and they're going to disagree with me. But at the same time, you know who's fighting for equality the majority of the time in this country? Democrats. So if you're not voting Democrats into office, you're hurting your own cause. Think about it. Just understand the whole situation there. There is a group of people who's fighting for your equality every single day. But if you allow another group of people to take over, they don't care about your equality. They try to take away your equality. That's why you have to educate yourself on the system. You have to understand who's really fighting for you, who's fighting for that issue of equality. That's what you got to understand. And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't get it. Like I said, let's go back to this hate crime bill issue. Who passed the hate crimes for black people the most? Democrats. Matter of fact, Rand Paul, a couple years ago, didn't even want to pass the bill about making hanging illegal. That's a Republican. Think about that. Think about the whole picture. Y'all have to understand, y'all have to sit here and really educate yourself on how the system works. If you really want to vote for your best interest, educate yourself. Individually wise. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to people like Phil Scott. Don't listen to people like Umar Johnson. Educate yourself. Educate yourself. And that's the whole thing about it. It's all about individually educating yourself. And I will tell anybody that. Right, the Prince. That's what I'm saying. That's why I say you have to educate yourself, my brother. You have to really look at who's going to benefit you the most. I don't give a fuck who you vote for. If you think a Republican is best for you, vote for a Republican. As long as you're voting, I can care less who you vote for. But my thing is, stop listening to these race hustlers. Use your own mind. Educate yourself. Educate yourself. You know, they tell you that everybody is supposed to be a free thinker. But in all actuality, there's no such thing as a free thinker. It's all about talking points. Who got the best talking points? Who can convince people to talk the same way they talk? That's what it's about in this country today. And that's why I said educate yourself. Really educate yourself. And that's why I'm here tonight, because I'm trying to tell everybody, I'm getting my message out tonight that we need to stop listening to these race hustlers, because I call them race hustlers. Phil Scott's a race hustler. Umar Johnson is a race hustler. Tariq Nasheed is a race hustler. These people don't do anything for you but talk. That's all they do. They do nothing but talk. And there's race hustlers on the other side also. Anybody who's benefiting from the black community is a race hustler in my book. So you have, on one side, you have the Phil Scotts, the Tariq Nasheeds, the Umar Johnson, and on the other side, you have the Candace Owens, the Brandon Tatums, the ABLs. All those people are race hustlers because they're using black people to make money. That's why I call them race hustlers. Bottom line. It's all about them. It's not about us. I want everybody to be like me. Independent. An independent thinker. Educate yourself. Go do research. Go understand what's really going on in this country today. Go understand how people are manipulating other people in order to make money off of you. That's what I'm talking about. That's my message. I know I got a small platform. Like right now, I got 8 people in here right now. 8 people listen to me with this with this message I'm putting out. But this is my message. If anybody can listen to this message and believe in what I say and understand what I'm saying, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not here to make money. I'm here to tell you how I feel. Yeah, ABL is still out there. He's still out there, Big Chief. You know, and that's the whole thing about it. Well, you know, Tesla, honestly, Republicans are just as bad as Democrats. So there's no such thing as free thinkers. because everybody use talking points. Turn on the news. You turn on the news, you hear a Democrat saying the same thing another Democrat saying. You turn on a Democrat, I mean a Republican, they're saying the same thing another Republican saying. So there is no such thing as free thinkers. It's all about talking points. So, and that's what we need to wake up and understand. Let's be real. Let's really be real. See, I'm a realist. See, I can sit here and call out the Democrats. I can sit here and call out Republicans because I'm a true independent. I'm a true independent thinker. Just understand that. And that's what we all should be. Oh, you know who ABL is? That's Anthony Brian Logan. He's a YouTuber. He's a YouTuber, the Prince. And he's a conservative / Trump supporter, which my thought on that, he's just a race hustler. To be honest with you. He's just a race hustler. They use black people to make money. They all make money off black people, no matter what side you own. You can be on this side, on the left side, you can be on the right side, but they're all making money off black people. And they just understand the truth. And we need to understand the whole concept. You know, and that's why I'm here, man. I'm an independent. I'm a true independent. But I'm gonna vote for my interests. And my interest is Social Security, protected Social Security. That's my interest. Better health care, affordable health care. That's my interest. See, those things I can point out to you why I vote a certain way. See, that's what we all need to do. And that's honest God, the truth. Don't believe these race hustlers, man. Stop listening to Phil Scott who tell you not to vote. Stop listening to people like Umar Johnson who tell you not to vote. Stop listening to these people. Educate yourself. There is hate crime bills on the books for black people. Trust me, I researched it. I've seen it. Asians are not the only group of people who have a hate crime bill. Educate yourself. Understand that you want your Social Security to be around for your grandkids and for their kids. Understand that you want better health care. Like I said, black people are the most unhealthy people in this country. So why wouldn't you want affordable health care for black people? Why wouldn't you? Tell me one black person that don't want affordable health care. Tell me one black person who don't want to improve the criminal justice system. Tell me one person, one black person. Tell me. I will listen. Like I said, I got Super in here. I got Mega in here. I got Tesla in here. I got Alpha in here. And I know all of those people, they vote Republican. They on the Republican side, but I respect their opinion. I respect them. I might not agree with them, but I respect them. And my job is to make sure I put out my side of the issue. And Tesla, I respect that. You said Social Security is a scam. I don't think it's a scam. I think Social Security is a safety net for poor people like myself. When I get 62 or 65 and I need my Social Security, it's there for me. It's a safety net. And I would never put Social Security, I would never privatize Social Security because that's gambling with people's money. The stock market, you can lose or you can win. That's a gamble. And that's one reason I'm voting Democrat, because I don't want a Republican in office telling me that we're going to take Social Security and we're going to privatize it. We're going to put it in the stock market. No, we're not going to do that. No, I'm a poor man. I'm not going to gamble with my money. Bottom line. And it's just the truth. And that's what we all need to educate ourselves on. Understand the system. Understand which party is doing which party is thinking like you're thinking. When it comes to Republicans, trust me, I agree with them on certain things. When it comes to immigration, some things I do agree with Republicans on. When it comes to social programs, there are certain things I agree with them on. Like, for instance, SNAP programs. I agree that we should cut people off at a certain point. People should not be living on these programs for eternity. They should be made to be weaned off these programs. So there are some things I agree with Republicans on, but the majority of things I vote Democrat because those things, majority wise, I agree with Democrats on. Thank you, Mega. And that right there, Mega, is most definitely right also. These politicians really are all for self. No matter if you're a Democrat or Republican, it's basically all for self. It's to keep themselves in power. It's to keep themselves making money. Realize these people get rich while in office. How do you get rich while you're in office working for the people? Think about that. How do you get rich making money for working for the people? I work for the people, but I'm not getting rich. I don't make any money, extra money. So how do these people work for the government and they get rich? Let that make sense. Make that make sense to you. It's crazy. But like I said, I came on just to let y'all know. Educate yourselves. Stop believing these race hustlers. Stop believing in people like Phil Scott. Stop believing in people like Umar Johnson. Stop believing in people like Tariq Nasheed. Believe in yourself. Educate yourself. Go do your own research. Go find out what's best for you. And stop being single issue voters. It's more than about one issue. It's about several issues. It's about people needing certain things for themselves, more than one thing for themselves. Stop listening to these race hustlers. Stop giving these people your money. Stop it. Stop it. Just stop it. I know I'm a small man in this world, and a lot of people not going to understand what I'm saying. But my point is just to say what I just said. Stop giving these people your money and vote. Vote. Don't let no one discourage you from voting. If you don't vote, you can't change nothing. You can't change nothing if you don't vote. So who are you really hurting by not voting? Are you really hurting anybody by not voting? Think about it. Who are you really hurting? Just say, for instance, if black people who vote 90% Democrat and they stop voting for Democrats and they vote Republicans in, and they stop voting so a lot of Republicans get into office, who are you really voting? Who are you really hurting? I mean, are you really hurting anybody? Matter of fact, let me point this out to y'all before I leave. Every southern state is controlled by Republicans. Just let that sink in for a second. Every southern state is controlled by Republicans. Are black people better off because of that? Look at Georgia. Look at Alabama. Look at Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas. Look at South Carolina, North Carolina. Look at Virginia. Are black people better off in those states where the crime is up, education that is at the bottom, infant mortality rate is very high, unemployment for black people is very high, crime, when it comes to the justice system, they're locking more black people up than any other group. So you tell me, are Republicans really better for black people or not? It does, Prince. The Prince, I'm gonna disagree with you on that. It does affect people. You know why? Because if you have so many black people who don't vote, it makes a difference. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why I say that. Look at Obama. A lot of people say Obama was elected by white people, right? Obama was elected by black people. And Obama is a prime example. If black people turn out to vote, they can make a change. They can make a difference. Matter of fact, look at 2020. Look at 2020 in Georgia. You know why Georgia got 2 Democratic senators right now? Because black people turned out to vote. That's why Georgia have 2 Democratic senators right now. Black people can make a difference if they turn out to vote. But they have to do it more often. They have to come out every year, not every other year. Just understand that. And Tesla, we can go back and forth about Chicago. We can look at California. We can look at Portland. We can look at Baltimore. We can look at all that thing. But what you're doing, you're playing partisan politics. Look at Tennessee. Look at Georgia. Look at Alabama. What's up, Griffin? Look at Louisiana. Look at Texas. Look at South Carolina. Look at North Carolina. We can play partisan politics all day long. Is it really solving anything? No, it's not. Just understand that, Tesla. We can do this all day long, but it's not solving nothing. How did Stacey Abrams lose to Kemp? Because black people didn't turn out to vote. Because of people like Phil Scott. That's why Stacey Abrams lost the way she did. Because people listened to people like Phil Scott, who told them not to vote for Stacey Abrams because Stacey Abrams said one thing that people misinterpreted about black men. Just understand that. That's how she lost. People like Phil Scott cost her that election. They'd rather have someone like Brian Kemp, who's going to give you 0, than have somebody like Stacey Abrams, who might give you 1 or 2 to benefit you, which is stupid. That's why I said black voters are stupid. Yeah, but see, they voted for the Democratic senators, but people like Phil Scott had put the word out about Stacey Abrams and that man comment that they didn't vote for her. No, that's not true. No, the Prince, that's not even true. There's really, if you look at the South, like take Mississippi, for instance. I think Mississippi got the highest black population at 30-some%, I believe. But when it comes to representation, they have probably 1 or 2 black representation in the state. So that's not even that. No, that's not the case, the Prince. No, that's not the case at all. She's not a socialist. She believes in people. See. Do y'all really understand what a socialist really is? When y'all say socialist, what type of socialist are you talking about? Because you talk about someone like Norway, Denmark, who got policies that are socialist policies that help all people? Or are you talking about someone like Venezuela, which is a communist country? Which one are you talking about here? Because you got some socialist countries who have good policies, like Denmark and Norway. So it's all about how you're looking at things. I think a lot of people don't understand, like Bernie Sanders, for instance. Bernie Sanders wants health care for all. He wants everybody to be able to believe in health and believe in a healthcare system that's going to protect us all. He wants affordable health care for all Americans. What's wrong with that? I see nothing wrong with that. He wants fair wages for all. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. So when y'all say socialist, my thing is, no, it's not really being a socialist. It's being a person who wants for all, who want to give you what you need to survive in this country. But see, that's what I'm saying. Are you talking about the North Koreans and the Venezuelans? That's totally different. There is no way in the hell you're going to sit here and tell me that you compare people like Bernie Sanders to North Korean dictators and to Venezuelan dictators. There's no way in the hell you're going to tell me that. No, I'm not going to believe that, Mega. Come on, man. Come on. That's totally different, man. It's not about communists. This country would never be a communist country. Just because somebody wants affordable health care for all, that's not being communist. Just because people want decent wages for all, that's not being communist. Come on, man. Let's be real here now. And I agree with you, Kanyan. You're right. I hate politics because both parties do nothing for the people. Most definitely right. And that's what they do. They get us all enraged to fight against each other while they make money. So you're most definitely right about that. I most definitely agree with that, Kanyan. Look up Revolution of 1989. All right, I'm gonna look that up. But still, come on, Mega. Come on, Mega. This country would never be a communist country. It would never be a communist country. And if you believe that, you're wrong. Come on. I don't care how many books you read or whatever the situation is. Mega, matter of fact, Mega, let me pose this right here to you. So, what do you think about Florida laws where they're banning books, where they're telling teachers what they can teach, what they can't teach? Don't you think that's kind of close to communism there in Florida? Don't you think that Ron DeSantis' policies in Florida is kind of like close to being a socialist communist country? I'm gonna wait on your answer on that because I'm curious about you saying communist. You talking about socialism, but Florida is a state where they're telling people what they can read, what they can't read. They're telling people what they can teach, what they can't teach. They're telling people all these different things. They're controlling people. So you tell me, yeah, I agree. I don't like the good to restrict speech. Okay, all right, all right, all right. I respect that. All right, I respect that. But that's my point, though. When you talk about Democrats being socialists, we got to look at the bigger picture. When you look at Florida, people like Florida, like Ron DeSantis, who's actually imposing his will on people, because he can. That's a communist. That's a dictator. And that's wrong. That's wrong. That's totally wrong. You cannot tell me that you're all about freedom, but at the same time, you're going to tell people what they can do, what they can't do when it comes to books and teaching certain things. That's not the way the world works. And it's crazy. It's really crazy. But guys, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the conversation. Thank you guys for coming through. Like I said, stop believing in the race hustlers. Think for yourself. Educate yourself. Do your own research, and you'll be a better voter. And vote regardless. Vote regardless of what someone tells you. Think about more than one issue at all times. And that's my message. So until next time, y'all have a great night, and I'll see y'all next time. Salute to you all.